He's angry about mortgages. It's Angry Mortgage. He's swearing. He's cursing loud. He's old. He's opinionated. And he's been doing this so damn long. This program is about mortgages, and this is mortgage advice, but the advice may not apply to your situation. Contact licensed mortgage professionals for specific recommendations before you make decisions about mortgages. You may not agree with Ron, but if you don't, he thinks you're wrong. Oh, and did we say there is a lot of swearing?
And we're back. We're on the air.
We're back.
Angry Mortgage is back on the air. It's actually, we're into December. We had a Christmas party, right?
Yeah, we did. It was
Did you
great.
like it? It was good?
Oh, the wine was amazing.
You helped a lot, actually. You did a lot for it. Thank you.
Yeah.
There's about 115 people, I think.
Give or take, yeah.
Give or take.
Yeah.
Closed the restaurant down. Anyway, it was a nice night. A lot of good wine because I like wine. I don't drink much wine. I don't like. People ask me, so you have wine every day? No, I don't.
Really?
Okay. No, I don't.
But you're such a wine connoisseur.
Yeah, it's like almost like about collecting, right? Because you can have, like if you collect like butterflies, how people used to pin the butterflies into these plaques and shit. Okay.
Tragic, but sure.
Tragic, but like they don't eat the butterflies, and most of the time they don't even go out and catch them themselves. They just buy them from somebody else, right?
Right.
So anyway, yeah, but it was a good evening. I had a good time.
Yeah.
Food was good. You like the food?
It was so good.
You sure?
I love the steak. Yeah.
Oh, the steak. Everybody liked the steak, right?
Yeah.
Everybody thought the steak was good. So we have a steak. I have the fish. A couple people have the seafood pasta. Seafood pasta was pretty good, right?
Yeah,
People said it was
I
good?
had like mussels, calamari. It was good.
It was pretty good. Yeah, it was pretty good.
It's good
Anyway,
selection.
Anyway, good party. Everybody's at a party. The usual. Some people stayed really late. Might have been a few drinks involved. What can I tell you? But we enjoyed ourselves, and we appreciate everybody who comes. Yeah. So it was an interesting week. There's sort of a week that's dominated. It's always the same in Canada and the mortgage business. It's always dominated by the same bullshit when it happens, okay?
Yeah.
Bank of Canada announcement, okay? So we got the Bank of Canada there. There's a big announcement.
You announced it first, technically.
Technically speaking, I was there first. Like I'm reaching a point now where I'm actually thinking, if I ever accidentally meet the Bank of Canada Governor Tiff Macklin, it's going to be a fuck up, right?
It's going to be awkward as fuck.
It's going to be awkward as fuck because I'm doing this voice all the time now. People are asking for the voice. Anyway, there was a Bank of Canada announcement, and the Bank of Canada Governor came out and said, there would be fuck all change. No, I don't think Tiff would ever say that. Maybe privately. But yeah, there was no change. They announced it was 10 o'clock in the morning. At 8 o'clock in the morning, I announced no change.
Yeah.
I'm ahead of him. Oh, I hate you, you fat bastard. You should never do that. Anyway, here I did it, and there was no change. And I told everybody there was going to be no change, and there wasn't. Okay. So why? Why no change?
We're where we need to be. On path, at least.
We're on the path. We're on the glide path to less inflation. Doesn't hurt that the price of gas keeps going down, which a barrel of oil went down under $75. Lots of odd stuff there. So, it's funny. The people in the Middle East, they're actually trying to pump less. It's weird. But the Americans are pumping more oil. Oh, yeah. Fuck. The Americans are exporting oil. Okay. Wow. I'll talk about this maybe later in the show, but fuck me, those guys know how to run an economy. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
Like they are not, they're not like, I think we should cap all the wells and leave the oil in the ground and save the planet. Fuck no. Push the oil out.
They're so past that. They're so past that.
We're going to pull the oil out of the ground. We're going to sell it to everybody who wants it. We're going to make some fucking money.
Yeah.
And the price of oil goes down. That's it. Price of gas goes down because you pull more oil, you increase oil production, things happen.
It's just a fuck it mentality.
Well, I don't know. I believe there's a lot of people in the United States who worry about climate change. I really
course.
do. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But they also say to themselves, the oil and gas is there. There's still demand for it. So why are we letting the countries in the Middle East make the money? Us not shipping it won't reduce CO2. It won't. Because that just means the Arab countries will pump more. Middle Eastern countries will pump more. Yeah. So what's going on? Okay, like until everybody decides to stop pumping because we're all nuclear everywhere.
Yeah.
We're going to pump the oil and we're going to sell it. Okay,
Yeah,
like,
pretty much.
Pretty much. That's how they run it. That's absolutely right.
Yeah.
All right, back to Bank of Canada. Oh, damn, you're back. You're talking about me again. I thought you wandered off on some other bullshit. No, I'm back, Tiff. I am right back. Okay. So why no increase? And, they always say the same thing, right? Tiff always says the same thing. We will monitor this closely. If inflation returns, we shall be... Fuck all that noise, okay? Like, he has to say certain bullshit, and he does. And let's face it, it's not like really awful bullshit, like rates will be low for long.
Yeah.
Okay? Like, it's not horrible, dangerous bullshit. But they always like to say they're watching it closely. I got news for you out there, folks. Listen carefully. And for you watching on YouTube, look carefully, okay? There's no more fucking increases. The hikes are done. We're finished.
Yeah.
Not going up this cycle. We're in a new cycle. We're in the shit cycle, okay?
Yeah.
We're in the economy not doing so hot. We're in the...
Everyone's going to be broke this month because it's Christmas.
People are spending. People are spending their last dime. Okay, do you know that was actually a famous book. It's called Hillbilly Elegy. It's this guy who grew up very, very poor. His family was from Kentucky or Tennessee, can't remember which, and he moved to Pennsylvania, and it like a manufacturing town, and then. But they were poor. They were dirt poor, and he always talked about the fact that somehow. They'd borrow money, use their credit cards, they do whatever the hell they could possibly do. And they put on one hell of a Christmas for kids. Like every time his parents, even though they were divorced and they were fighting and a little hell breaking loose, they would still find a way. There would be presents. There would be big dinner. There would be everything. And he just said, like, it's actually something about being poor that you insist your kids have a great Christmas.
Right.
So anyway. I always remember that.
Interesting take.
It's an interesting take, but I also believe it may be true.
Yeah.
Anyhow, so there will be no more rate increases. I'm just letting you all know. Everybody who wants to comment on that, like I'm full of shit, feel free, but I'm still right. You want to send your little comments? Go ahead. By the way, we like comments. Just if we cut back on the stupid ones, that'd be good. So there'll be. We'll talk about that a little later. Anyway, no more increases.
Yeah.
It's finished. So the next question becomes, when do the cuts?
Whew. I think I heard some realtor say that it was coming. The cuts were guaranteed in January, something like that. I read
some
that somewhere.
TikTok realtor? Was
most
it a TikTok?
likely, most likely.
Probably TikTok realtor.
And I was just like, I don't think so. Like, don't get me wrong. People are excited about that 4.99 that came out.
Yeah.
People are like jumping for it, but I don't think it's going to be right away.
You are correct. It is not going to be right away. The TikTok realtor who puts out, it's always the same bullshit, right? TikTok realtor says, hey, you better buy now. You better buy now because the cuts are coming in January and then the prices are going to go wild. So now's the time. And no, there's no cuts in January.
Sorry to shit on your sales tactic, but
sorry to shit on your lying sales tactic. You're a liar. Okay. Fuck no, there's no cuts in January.
Yeah.
There may be cuts in like the wildest, the most aggressive sort of thinking is April. Although it's backed up by a few economists. A few economists think there'll be cuts in Canada in April.
Okay.
I'm not sure. Kind of doubt it. Cuts in June, July, maybe. Yeah, I'm sort of in that camp a little bit.
Well, the summer is like the best time to be like, buying and selling, right? That's like the most traffic.
Oh no, it's past. It's a big spring market, right? Because you always want to have your house sold and bought,
right?
Because you'd rather take the summer off. So if you have kids, right? Like you have kids, you really want to take the summer off because they're out of school,
fair.
right?
Yeah.
So everybody wants to do the deal. Like the house should close in like May or something, right? Do a deal in April, do a deal in March, and then close in May. It's a spring market, right?
Yeah,
that's what I call it. So summer for cuts, I think it's just time. You see, the way I look at it is if there's a cut in April, it's like, what'll happen? Everybody will say, Tiff Macklin panicked. No, I didn't panic. I did not. No, yeah, that's what they'll say. That's what they'll say, dude. They will say that. They'll say you fucking panicked, okay, and dropped the rate because the economy goes shit. But if you wait till the summer, and the cuts are in the summer, you can say, if you're Tiff, you can say, this was all part of my plan. This was my plan. It was exactly the right timing. I knew what I was doing. Wasn't like before with inflation is transitory. Forget about that. So, yeah, I'm more in the camp of the summer. Cuts start in the summer. We could see 1% cuts this year, though. We could see 1.25%, 1%. It's possible. It's just a function of how bad the economy gets. And everybody jumps on this one thing when I talk about this. They point out that the U.S. economy is not doing that bad, so...
That means we shouldn't be?
Well, what it means is if we cut our central Bank of Canada rate, and the U.S. does not, the U.S. Federal Reserve does not, it means that our currency takes a hit. Because where would you rather have your money? In the U.S. or, right? So the U.S. has got the highest interest rates in the world. The money comes there. Simple as that. But, I'm old. So I was around when, right now our dollar's at it bounces around between 72 and 74, give or take, U.S. dollar. I was around for 61 cents.
Oh, wow.
The U.S. dollar was so strong that it was 61 cents Canadian, right?
Wow.
So, when you went to someplace in the U.S., you had to take a lot of fucking money because your money wasn't, you had to convert a lot of money because your money wasn't worth much in the U.S. And that world didn't end. Honestly, the world didn't end. I think a fucking cauliflower was $12 or $15 because, if you have to import you got to import the fruit in the winter, right? So that was expensive, but the world didn't come to an end. So, so that's the divergence that you could hear about. So, but that's the story. No increase. Cuts are coming. No matter what anybody says, no matter what Tiff says, no matter what everybody says, cuts are coming, just not in January. Fuck that TikTok realtor. Yeah.
There was another announcement about immigration, like immigrant students.
Yeah, that was an interesting one. That was just the other day. That was just yesterday. It was an interesting announcement. So the federal government is, by the way, the interesting part is the students, international students.
That's what I meant. Sorry. I said immigrant students. I meant international students.
Everybody knows what you're talking about. I know. Everybody knows what you're talking about. Same idea. So there's tons of them, right? Like we had 800,000 last year. They're studying here. Now, unfortunately, some of them are studying in, Joe Blow's business college, learning, introduction to tourism, which is not good. Because they're basically here to try to get a permanent residence visa,
right?
But permanent residence status. But let's be fair. There's a lot of them, and the trouble is there's no housing for them.
Yeah,
because the schools don't develop any housing.
They don't care.
They don't give a shit.
No.
Because foreign students pay 5 times the tuition.
An arm and a leg. Yeah.
Huge, right? So, so the federal minister. This is becoming a bit like. The concern is, are we ripping them off? Are we abusing them? The answer is yes. Some of them we're absolutely abusing, for sure. Okay. So the federal government came out just yesterday and said, hey, we want to make sure that the student who comes here, right now it's 10 grand. You have to show 10 grand Canadian when you come here so they know that you can support yourself. They're going to up that to a little over 20 grand. That's into next year. Okay. Wow. Now, it doesn't do too much because next year's first semester's already signed up. They're already coming. Okay. So it really won't take effect till the middle of next year.
So probably like April at the end of the school year.
Like mid-year. Yeah. I'm thinking so that might. Here's the thing though. So you up it to 20. And and what if the same people come, just different people, slightly different people? Like, I don't know if that's an answer. It might be. I mean, it's a good idea that they come with enough money so they're not starving. Right. Because some of them have a really, really hard time.
Of course. Like I heard this story about how a lot of international students are going to like food banks and stuff because they're struggling, right? 100%. And a lot of people obviously are upset about it, but it's like they're paying an arm and a leg just to be here.
They are. 100%.
It's so unfair. And only
100%.
I think during COVID or something, they were allowed to work full time as an international student. And then apparently that's going to change.
Well, no, they right up until very recently they could work 40 hours. Now that might be cut back to 20.
Right. I heard in April they're going to change that again.
I think that's going to go to 20. So,
and then how do you survive off 20 hours a week working a part-time job, which is probably minimum wage?
I think that's like a concept is you got to bring in a ton more money. That's what the immigration minister's trying to do. But I don't know if it'll work. I just don't know. I mean, it's not a bad idea, but I don't know if it'll work or not. I really don't know.
No.
So you mentioned the change in fixed rates. Mm-hmm. Yeah, 499.
Yeah.
Are we like? I think we're 4.889 now. I think we've dropped it some more.
I didn't check it.
Yeah, I think it's even farther down. It might be 4.84. Now, before everybody loses their mind,
don't go bananas.
That's a very specific rate that only applies to about 4.84 5-year. Okay, 5-year fixed, not variable, fixed. It's very specific. It's high ratio, which means small down payment, under $1 million, got to hit the debt ratios, under $1 million purchase. So there's lots and lots of conditions. Okay, it's only for purchase. Lots of stuff going on there. Probably only applies to about
a small percentage,
5%, 6% of new mortgage origination. So it's not a ton. Okay, but rates are 5-year fix is down. Okay, we're going to talk about that in a minute. I mean, like what that means. And of course, when we first put it out, because we were actually the first mortgage brokerage to announce the 499 rate.
There you go.
First in Canada.
Butler Mortgage.
Butler Mortgage, first in Canada to announce the low rate. And of course, guess what? I started getting shit for it. Oh, why did you get that rate? We thought house prices would come down. Now it's going to go up. Oh, I don't like you anymore. So anyway, I'll touch on that later, but still. So what we know is this. And I've talked about it 100 times on the show, so I'm sorry if I'm being repetitive, but it bears, now that we've had this interesting rate thing happen, it's worth talking about. The fixed rates will come down before the Bank of Canada cuts because they'll just figure it out. Like the bond traders just figure it out. They say the rates are coming down. We can lower the fixed rates, particularly the long-term fixed rates. Like nobody wants 10-year in Canada. That's just the truth, guys. Don't get mad. And so 5-year comes down first before anything else. And that's what we're seeing right now. Is that good? Yes. I'll tell you why. It's good for people who are renewing. Okay. Right. So if you're really, really, really in a bad spot, that's, by the way, you're not going to get the 4.889, but maybe you'll get 5.19 when, 2 months ago, 6 weeks ago, it was 6.49. Okay. So not bad for that. What should you do though? You should still do, realistically, you should still do either a 1-year fixed or variable. Like that's the perfect solution for not for people. Like if you're buying a house, this 499 might work out well. Okay, let me explain why. So, or 484. So at 484, you want to buy a house and you fit the criteria. It's less than $1 million house, like it's a condo or something, or a house in Alberta maybe, or a house outside of GTA. So you want or townhouse maybe. So you want to buy a house. It's under $1 million. Your income fits all the debt ratios. Your credit's good. But here's the thing: there's something we talk about all the time: stress test, qualifying rate, right? Yeah. You had 2%. So in the case of 484, 489, for anything below 5, that qualifying rate is now like 684. But if you take variable is like 585, and you're qualifying at like 685. So bottom line is, on a 5-year fix today, high ratio, like CMHC, Sagen, Canada Guarantee, it's you get more house, you get bigger mortgage. Simple as that. So that's where it is. So we got to respect that, and that's why some people will choose, and some people on renewal will choose it just because they have to get like. Some of the people on renewal right now, if renewal's coming up, you were at 349, and now it's 499. But that's bad. But if you want to take variable, it's 625, and you say, "Fuck that! I cannot handle that payment. Give me that 5-year fixed." So theoretically, even though in the perfect world you took variable, or you even took a 1 year, 1 year's like 7.2. Okay, 1 year fixed. because we know the rates are coming down. We know a year from now or even 10 months from now, whatever, but definitely a year from now, whatever rate you're looking at will be 1% less.
Right.
Maybe 1.25%, maybe 1.5%. Some people say more. I don't go that far. Okay. But so if your variable rate today is 6.25, you could be 5. Yeah. You could be, you say, well, wait a minute, that's still, but wait, you get it.
Yeah.
You know, variable, you got a lot more. You don't have to worry about a penalty. And variable, you can convert.
Exactly.
You can convert. Like if you go down to 4.99 and somehow you notice the 3-year over there is like, you know, you're at variable and you're at 5%. You notice the 3-year fixed is like 4.49. You can lock in.
You get that flexibility.
Yeah. You got to be careful with the contract, but that's, you know, that does give you the flexibility. Correct. Okay.
Yeah.
So what's the right strategy today? In a perfect world, you go variable, you go 1-year fixed. But if you have to manage your payments, or if you have to buy a house and you found the perfect house and you need to qualify for X mortgage, and the only way to qualify for X mortgage is with a 5-year fix because it's the lowest rate. There you go.
Got to do what you got to do at the end of the day.
Do what you got to do. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we forgot about it we didn't forget about it. We didn't have time for it last week, but we're on to that. We got the answer bag is back, and we got even extra questions on the answer bag. Okay?
We got so many.
That's a question. We decided to throw in extra. We get a lot of questions online. You know, I'm online all the time. We get a lot of questions.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead.
Okay.
Hit me.
Okay. I watch you on TikTok, and you seem a lot wilder than the podcast.
Well, yeah, look, TikTok, I'm pretty fucking wild, okay? Like, I don't just talk mortgages on TikTok. Like, I'll go on all kinds of rants about shit. I went on a rant the other day about Toronto traffic, and it got 600,000 views.
There you go.
Because guess what?
Everyone
People fucking hate the traffic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely wilder on TikTok. There's no question. So if you want to, same channel, Ron Mortgage Guy, look, if you use TikTok,
Instagram.
Yeah,
Twitter,
Instagram too.
It's the same handle.
But I'm mostly wildest on TikTok.
Wild Ron on TikTok.
Wild Ron because I'm swearing up a fucking streak. So I mean, like they don't like that on Instagram. I mean, you can't swear too much. You swear a little. Can you swear a little on Instagram? I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, I think so. But yeah.
TikTok's wide open because it's from China. They don't even know what the fuck, you know. Oh, we don't care if he swears. We're in China. We don't give a shit. We say whatever the fuck he wants. No, you can't say crazy stuff, but you know.
Yeah. Of course. Like there's guidelines to follow.
But there's no guidelines on swearing on TikTok.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is weird because some people think there is. Like I've heard people on TikTok avoid swearing, like where swearing would be appropriate, and they seem to avoid it. Maybe they just do the same thing for Instagram as they do for TikTok.
And they just like copy paste.
Or they're doing it for YouTube. They just want to keep it clean. But
maybe.
Not me on TikTok. There is some swearing. I'll tell you what. It's wild. Anyway, go ahead. And we're wild on TikTok. Find us on TikTok.
Okay, this one says, can I port my mortgage? I tried, but my bank said no.
All right. So that's a great question. And it does happen all the time. A lot of mortgages are theoretically portable. Like you buy a house, you get a mortgage, and the mortgage advisor says you can port your mortgage. If you find another house, you want to hold on to that mortgage, which everybody does. Like you can imagine if you have like one of the 189 5-year fixed.
Holding on to that like with my dear life.
Oh, yeah. You would never let go. Never let go.
Yeah.
But here's the problem. If you do end up moving, you have to sell and you want to move. Yeah. Yes, the mortgage is portable. But there's got to be, it's got to match. You still got to qualify, right? Like you might not be able to, if you bought a smaller home, it might be impossible to shrink the mortgage.
Yeah.
It just might, that doesn't work, right? And if you bought a bigger home, if you enlarge the mortgage too much, you lose.
Yeah.
So and also in many cases, if you have a variable rate mortgage, there is no porting. They don't allow porting on a variable. So every bank has different rules. Every lender has different rules, but porting is valid, okay, but it's hard because it has to fit.
Right.
The mortgage has to fit because if your mortgage is $400 and you buy a $390 house, you can't keep that mortgage, right? That's impossible.
Yeah.
Where the hell are we going to find a $390 house? I don't know. Like, I don't know where we find
Yukon?
that. Yeah. No, it's actually they're more expensive there.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's the one place
it's so really expensive, fucking cold. Oh my god.
Well, it might be some really, really weird place in I don't know, the Maritimes. Maritimes gone up too. But anyway. If you find it has to fit, the mortgages have to fit. So that's why the bank might say no.
Okay. Should I take variable? It's more expensive now, but will it go down a lot lower? Also, can I switch to fixed anytime?
Yeah, you absolutely. We talked about variable might being the right way to go today. It can, in theory, it could go down a lot. Let's say you start with 625 today, or even less. Like I think our very, very best rate is like 585 or something. If it went down like 2%, you're down to 385. That's a good deal, obviously, but that might take time. And can you lock in anytime? Yes, you can lock in anytime if you have a variable rate mortgage. You can approach your bank, approach your lender, and say, "I want to lock in."
Yeah.
And they say, "Okay, here's the rates." And you might say, "Well, wait a minute, that's not that good a rate. I just looked up their mortgage website, and they got a better rate for a 3-year fixed or 4-year fixed. So why is that?" Well, they got you. If you don't take their rate offer for a fixed, you got to pay a 3-month penalty. Right. Now, it's the lowest penalty. 3 months is the lowest penalty, but it's still a penalty.
Right.
Okay. So they're not going to give away the best rate. But the correct answer is your bank's not going to give you the lowest rate in Canada if they know you're going to pay a penalty, right?
Right.
So, yeah, the answer though is that they'll do it. They will switch to a 3-year, 4-year, 5-year fixed. Depends on the contract. They'll do it for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Why is this high ratio rate so low? If I have a house with 50% equity, should I get a better rate? I'm safer, right?
Yeah, that's a really reasonable question, and we hear it endlessly. So people have a huge amount of equity in their home, or they want to make a huge down payment on the home, and they end up with a higher rate than this high ratio purchase. So what does high ratio mean? It means that you're fit the government program, CMHC, also the private enterprise people, Sagen, Canada Guarantee. It's all the same product, but you pay a big premium. Like people think the better rate is a freebie. It's not free. Okay. On a $600,000 mortgage, you probably pay $32,000 in insurance.
Yeah.
Okay. It's added to the mortgage, yes, but it's real. It's a real cost.
It is, yeah.
So what does that mean? It means that for you, this huge insurance cost, the government of Canada actually backs the mortgage. Okay. And because the government of Canada backs the mortgage, it's cheaper to securitize. It's cheaper to sell into a bond market. It's just the most perfect mortgage. It's next in priority to the actual government of Canada bond. Like they turn it into a Canadian mortgage bond.
Yeah.
And, it's as safe as Canada.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's backed up by Canada. So that's the reason it's cheaper. It might not seem fair. Somebody puts 5% down on a $500,000 purchase, $25,000, that seems risky, but very carefully underwritten. And they paid a huge, huge premium.
Yeah.
A huge insurance cost.
Yeah.
So it's not, it's not always, it's not a free ride.
Of course.
Okay? Absolutely not. But it does make people mad, I've noticed.
Of course. Yeah. Or get jealous.
All right. So one other report came out this week. It just came out, I think it might have come out this morning, actually. It's the U.S. job numbers.
Yeah.
Now, why is that important? Well, it's important because we talked about it. So if the U.S. economy continues to flourish and the Canadian economy gets crappier, then the U.S. Federal Reserve might keep their interest rate higher, and Canada will feel, TIF will feel, I don't make my own mind. I don't care what you think. No, you will eventually succumb, and you will lower the rate. So why is the U.S. economy better than ours?
I wish I knew.
Look, obviously it's 9 times bigger country,
right?
9 times the population. It's structured differently. Like it's got industries we don't even have.
Yeah.
Like it has a huge.
We talked about the innovation last time. Yeah.
It's just it's got so much going on there. I mean, there's just so much dynamic. And I'll tell you, probably the best reason that their economy is better off today is because they went through the pure hell of the 2008 world financial crisis. So the world financial crisis, their mortgages blew up.
Yeah.
There was like millions of people lost their homes.
Yeah.
There was tremendous economic destruction. It was one of the most nervous times in the economic history of the planet for the last 100 years. And their house prices fell dramatically, like really dramatically. Okay. We've never really gone through that. We had like a sort of a little bit of a hiccup for 10 months and then moved on. And
never that drastic. Yeah.
Nothing even close.
Yeah.
And sure as shit, our house prices probably fell 15% over the course of 9 months and then fully recovered by the next year. So it's hardly noticeable. All right.
Yeah.
But everybody really, really, really fucking noticed it in the States. Like every goddamn house went down in price. Like everyone. Okay. Now, why would that total fucking disaster be good for their economy?
They get to build after that.
Well, the real reason is that everybody pays less to live in their house. Mm-hmm. The mortgage payments are smaller. Like everybody. Like you can buy, like if you think, I'll tell you what, 10 years ago in like Houston, Texas, you could buy a beautiful home for like $189. Okay.
Wow.
$169. Okay. Low mortgage. And what that means is if mortgages are low, it means rents are low. Okay. Yeah. Now they've all gone up. Like everybody talks about it in the States. Their house prices are all up now. Yeah. Nothing like ours. Like not even fucking close. Not even fucking close. Can't even
put them in the same category.
Not the same category. Okay. And what that means is that people have more money in their hands.
Yeah.
Because and that means the restaurants can be busier, the bars can be busier, people can do some recreational stuff.
Domino effect. Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay. Yeah. So people wonder why the U.S. economy is good. Couple reasons. That's a big one.
Yeah.
Another reason is some states in the U.S. run like Canada, like California, New York, Massachusetts. There's high taxes all over the place, a lot of regulation. There's a lot of, everybody's got to do the sort of woke shit. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then there's some states like Texas. Don't get me wrong. There's some stupid shit that goes on in some of those states. Like the states that are pro-life, that are anti-abortion, I mean, fuck that stuff. It's so fucking
Oh my God.
stupid.
Everyone's going to come for you in the comments.
Nah, fuck them all. Okay.
Everyone's entitled to their opinion.
Look, I've been pro-abortion my entire life. Okay. From when I was a
It's called
teenager.
Pro-choice.
All right. Pro-choice, pro-abortion. Fuck, call a spade a spade. Anyway, I hate the shit they do in the southern states for the stupid stuff. Not only that, but I'm an atheist. So I think all the religion's kind of fucking stupid too. Okay. But, big but, they have less regulation. They have a lot less regulation. Like you want to build a house, you want to build a new subdivision outside of Houston, they will if you call up the division of the county that does that, they'll say something like, "Come on down, partner. We're gonna build your ass up in those houses. Yeah, we love you." Okay.
Oh my God.
In Canada, it's like,
oh, well, you'll need to, we have to do a research study, and we'll have to do, there's about 16 studies we have to do. We have to do water table study, we have to do environmental study, we have to do archaeological study.
That doesn't happen in the States.
Yeah.
In those southern states, they just say, you want to build some shit? Get busy. Okay. That's it. That's what happens. So
polar opposites.
like, it's just like, let's get stuff done. Okay?
Yeah.
And like build stuff and build things, and they don't hate cars, they don't give a shit. Okay. It's just, it's a better economy that way because and everybody's going to say, "Oh, Ron, I mean, you're dead wrong. I mean, it's very important. We have all these bazillion regulations in Canada." Okay. You might think that. I think the opposite. I don't give a fuck what you think. Okay. I'm right. You're wrong. That's it. That's my show. I do whatever the fuck I want. Okay. That's a big reason, because you think about it, like if the people have more money in their hands, that's the domino effect of a better economy.
Yeah.
And then if it's easier to build stuff, start factories, start businesses. Oh, and by the way, if your focus isn't only on real estate, you can spend more time thinking about business. Like if you're, you can make money in real estate in the States, just like here, but you can't make astronomical money. Like it's not like, well, I'm going to get this farm rezoned to make $100 million. Okay. On the real estate, I'm going to get it rezoned for houses or for offices and make a jillion. Okay. If you're not always trying to do, flip your house.
Yeah.
You got time to open businesses, like real businesses, like things that employ
people. So many entrepreneurs in
so many. Jesus,
it's disgusting compared to us. Like,
I'm so right.
It's kind of sad because it's like it looks like all the opportunities out there.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's why a lot of like people my age are like, "Fuck this, we're moving to the States." I have a cousin who lives in the States. She said, "Fuck that." Like,
it's hard to get in though. The green card is hard. It is hard.
Her husband's a doctor, so it made things easier.
That solved everything. Your husband's a doctor. They want doctors, that's for sure. Yeah, but that is, it's a great point. You just have that feeling that entrepreneurship is there.
Yeah.
And it's not just about flipping houses. It's about doing all kinds of open a new restaurant, invent a new this, and do a new that, build houses, whatever. Not just selling each other houses. I mean, that's why I think it's successful. Yeah. And and the thing with the really sad, because God damn, it was sad. I was around watching it in 2008. I watched all those programs about people losing their homes, being evicted. Oh, it was awful.
I read about it. I heard a lot of people kind of off themselves.
Oh my God,
it was
awful.
Really,
it's horrible, really, horrible. And so, but if you...
They learned from it, like the positives, like their economy's booming now.
And, nobody out there forget about that. Like, I mean, having such expensive homes here, having such big mortgages, having such big payments now that the rates are up, it throttles back what you can do.
It limits us. Like, do you think that like the Canadian house prices will ever drop, I don't know, like 50%?
It's a good question. We get that online a lot. Like, people say online all the time. They say things like, "Hey, these prices are so high they need to drop 50%."
Yeah.
Okay.
Ideally.
Well, yeah. If you're a buyer, If you own a house, it's like
fuck no.
it's really a fuckathon. Then it's like, wait a second, I got a $1 million house, $800,000 mortgage. If it goes down to $500,000, I am fucked. Okay, like I'm done. My life is over.
Yeah.
Hey, I doubt it. One of the reasons I doubt it is it's immigration. I mean, like, it's just a lot of people coming in. They don't all buy houses immediately, but they need a place to live.
Yeah.
And we're not building houses in any rational way, no matter what bullshit you hear. No matter what the government says, we're going to build $3.5 million homes. Oh, that reminds me. The woman who's the outgoing CEO of CMHC, she was giving some testimony last week, and they kind of cornered her, and they said, "Are we really going to build $3.5 million homes in the next 10 years?" And she says, "Well, I'm not going to be here." No. We want you to answer that question. What's the answer to that question? We're going to
build
no? Yes or no? We're going to buy 3.5 million homes?
No, we're not.
Oh my God.
Yeah, she's just that's all truth. She's a good person. Romy Byers, good person. Definitely a good person. Highly competent. Well liked within the organization. There's some reasons that she's left to go to the world. I think it's the World Bank or the IMF. Can't remember which. Yeah, she told the truth. Fuck it. She's leaving. So tell the truth. No, we're never going to build those houses. Whatever the government's telling you, not going to happen.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the sad part. All right. We're coming to our favorite part of the program.
What the actual fuck?
So I'm going to change it the tiniest bit today. The tiniest bit.
Spicy.
I'm going to go to why the actual fuck.
Why?
Okay? Why? Okay. So I'm going to ask this question, why? Because and people are complaining about it, not just me, but other people who are active in social media in the real estate mortgage world. Okay. So when we talk about the fact that the Bank of Canada rate, it's just a fact. Like it's say, well, my firm belief is they're finished at raising rates at the Bank of Canada, and here's the reasons why. Boom, 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 boom. This is why I believe it's true, and there's a lot of research behind it, and I think I'm right, and so I'm going to say it because I'm going to report what I think is going on. I'm not a reporter, but I know enough about it to say I think it's what's going on, so I'm going to say it. So then there's all these comments, all these social media comments. Oh, you rat bastard! You just want to make money off mortgages, you fucker! We need higher rates. I think the rates are going higher. Fuck you! Going higher. Fuck you! Higher rates and then lower house prices. You just want high house prices, you dirty rat mortgage bastard. Okay, I gotta listen to this and read all these comments, like millions and millions of comments. All right, so let's get clear. I don't make this fucking trend happen.
Yeah.
Okay? I am not the guy. I'm not the Bank of Canada governor. I'm not the Canadian economy. I'm not the way that create trends. And by the way, one thing that I want to tell everybody in social media who wants to say,
"Oh, you're just a mortgage broker. You want the rates to come down so you can do more business."
Look, I don't mind doing business, and we're here to do business. Okay. Of
course.
But here's the thing. Read my fucking posts for the last 5 years. Yeah. Go into social media, you fuckers. Go into social media and read it. And I've said 100 fucking times. I even have I have a tagline. I have like a famous line I say. The price of houses in Canada is batshit crazy, okay? Period. I've been talking about, you've heard me, okay?
There's like a mug in the office that says
There's a fucking mug. There's a fucking mug says the price of houses is batshit crazy,
yeah.
Okay? Like,
you're just trying to shoot the messenger.
It's like it's a meme for fuck's sakes, okay? So I have been saying it for fucking ever, okay? Years and years, okay? The price of houses is too high.
Yeah.
I would love to see the price of houses come down.
Or at least
me too. Come down, or maybe not come down 50%, but come down and stop going up.
Yeah. Come down to a point where it's reasonable.
Or let the wages catch up for 5 or 6 or 8 years. Just keep the fucking prices the same or lower, okay?
Yeah. Keep us here. Like, I wouldn't move to Alberta if I could. Yeah, like, if I could live here, I would. Yeah. You know, so.
Sure. We would.
Yeah.
And everybody would be happier.
To be here.
Everybody would the world would be happier with lower house prices except a few people, okay?
Yeah.
So don't blame me, for the love of Christ.
Don't shoot the fucking messenger.
Don't shoot the fucking messenger, okay? So I am not the guy who's changing it. Mm-hmm. When I tell you about what's happening, you can argue if you want, okay? But it'll turn out that I'm right, okay?
Period.
And I didn't, like... I would love house prices to come down. You're just pumping for your business. Fuck you. Okay. Well, you know what? I don't mind doing business. Okay. I don't mind having a good business because business for the last, I'd say 14 months has been shit. Okay. Like not great.
It's rough out here. Yeah.
But truth is, I'm happy that prices have come down. Let's face it. Prices have come down. I'm happy about that. But God damn it all. Okay. Don't play. Like the TikTok realtor, fuck that guy. Okay. Like the guy who says buy this next week because rates are going up and rates are going down, prices going up. Everybody who lies about it, like fuck all those people who lie about it.
Yeah.
But I am not lying. Okay. I'm just giving you analysis as I see it. And God damn it, I'm just telling the truth. Look, let me finish this way. Lower, more affordable house prices right across this country is my fondest fucking wish, okay? Has been for years, okay? But I can't change events, okay? And if rates are destined to go down, hey, I'm hoping house prices don't go up. I'm thinking there's reasons they might not, because if the recession hits hard, people may not be buying houses when they got no jobs, okay?
Exactly.
So my fondest wish in this country of Canada is for lower house prices, less fixation of Canadians on real estate, okay? I would so love that. But if I tell you something factual about where the rates are going to go and what things are going to happen, it's factual. God damn it. I'm just telling you facts, okay?
A thank you would be nice.
I don't even need a thank you. Christ, if you listen, I'll tell you straight up, Jan, if you function in social media, don't wait for thank yous, okay? You ain't having too many fucking thank yous, all right?
No.
But it's just, if you tell the truth, if people don't like your truth,
fuck it.
I got to keep telling it. All right.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Next week, we'll see you next week on Angry Mortgage.
Bye.
If you like the pod, well, don't just sit there. Go to YouTube, Apple, Spotify, and all the other ones and like the pod. And don't forget to subscribe so we can keep being angry at mortgages and swearing about mortgages. Angry Mortgage could use your support.